back to the timelines. This video is not sponsored by Kin, but if you guys want to sponsor me, I don't know why you would. What does sponsor mean anyway? That you're giving me money for me to do deviant acts? So 3 timelines: Apocalypse, Armageddon, Ascension. And it's like, just turn on the news, and you know how they say the age of Pisces, it's like 2 fish going against each other. It's like, they say it's like the fight of like love and war. And like, that makes so much sense with the way like everything is in society and all that. And I just think it's like, it's inevitable that we're eventually going to be officially in the age of Aquarius, and like we have like Pluto going into Aquarius officially. But you know that it's the slowest moving planet, and it's gonna take, there's gonna be a lot of changes and a lot of destruction, a lot of transformation. But either way, we're gonna get there. It's just how much pain are we gonna have to endure, and how much transformation and like shocking transformation are we going to go through. Because obviously when you look at the news and you see how everything's divided, like the 2 fish and like politics and all that, it's just like most people, a majority of the people who are like unawakened and shit, like they're stuck in like the Armageddon timeline. But it's like, then there's the people who are, on the Ascension timeline. Like, I would consider myself on the Ascension timeline. And, all the people who are, maybe sometimes I call a lot of these people fake and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, they have good intention. And that intention is they want to be on the Ascension timeline. All these people who are, like, healers, or, like, they're saying that, that's their intention. Their intention is just to be in the new timeline. And it's like, maybe their logic for a lot of the stuff they're talking about, it doesn't make sense. And that's why I say, like, a lot of people, it's like they want to be on the Ascension timeline, but their actions and the way they are is still on the Armageddon timeline. Because I don't believe money is going to exist when we make it to the Ascension. Money isn't going to be there anymore. And all these people who say that they want to do the new world and they want to do the Ascension and all that, but you gotta charge me some money or something, they're saying. They're saying you gotta charge money for what we already know is free. So it's just really weird. And I'm not going to act like I know what the Ascension timeline even is, because it's a whole new reality. That's all I can say is I get that message is like, I know it's not going to have money. And the only reason I could say that is because we can look to the past civilization that was supposedly in the age of Aquarius, and that was the Egyptians. And once I watched this radio show, and it was this lady back in where I'm from, which is Pennsylvania, and it was this like local radio show where they were interviewing this lady, and she was talking about how she believes that we're the Egyptians, like reincarnated. And I vibed with that a lot, because like I was into Egypt since I was like in 3rd grade and shit. And actually on 777, July 7th, 2023, I went to a meditation, and we did like a shamanic drum session, and that was the first time I did like a group thing like that. But I actually had like a vision, and in that vision, I started out and I was like swinging through this forest, and then my mom and my brother, who were passed away, like they came into the scene. It's like I could see their spirits like smiling on me as I was like swinging around, going like through the jungle, exploring, going from branch to branch, and I'd see like all these like NPC type people like standing on the branches, like kind of looking at me like they're fascinated with like what I'm doing. And I'm just like traveling around, going from tree to tree in this big woods, like exploring through all like the people. And it's kind of like I'm like looking for my purpose, and I'm exploring and I'm traveling, which I like to do a lot. And my mom and my brother were like happy that I was like traveling and doing all that. And then all of a sudden there was like the king of the jungle, or like someone who was like an authority to the jungle. He like made the jungle like get like super quiet, and then he like called me, and he's like telling me that people want to see me. And he was like at the top of these like big like stone stairs, and I didn't, in the vision, I just like automatically, and then I was with him like walking somewhere. It's like I didn't like walk up the stairs, and that didn't happen or anything. It's just like we just went, he called me, and then we were like went away, and we went to, it was like we went from a jungle to the desert in Egypt. And like instantaneously I followed him, and then he brought me to like the pharaoh and like the Egyptians. But it wasn't like how he came out of the king of the jungle like that. And then I came to the Egyptians, and it was just like everybody was like family. Like it wasn't like there was a ranking where there was like this big guy in like a chair or anything. It was like I just came to Egypt, and everything was like home, and everyone there felt like they were my family, and they were like, like welcome back, and like while you were gone, like we made something for you. And they brought me into this pyramid, and inside of the pyramid there was like a music studio. And like that was kind of the whole dream, like daydream, like shamanic trance thing that I like went in, and that's what I got out of it. And I explained it to everybody, and I really enjoyed that. But it's just like, that's what I feel like I remember about like the Egyptians, is like they have all these paintings on the walls and everything, and they have paintings of themselves as like all these different animals. It's like because they had the time to sit around all day and do nothing but art and like whatever they got into, and then they like reflected on themselves, and they learned about themselves, like their animals and all this. And they're like, you know what, actually I'm like a combination of like these animals that I am. So that's why I think that there was all the weird drawings like that. And it's like they had no I don't know, there obviously was like slaves and stuff back in Egypt, but it's just like, that's why I say it's going to be new, because as we're going to have the age of Aquarius again, but we're going to be the new version. It's like there were some problems that they had back then, but it's like we're not going to have those problems. We're going to have new problems, but we're going to be on a new higher level. Everybody always wants to act like, you know, there was people in the past that had better technology than us and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't know, I think everything is going how it's supposed to go. Everything's like progressing, and it's just the way society evolves. It's like breathing. Like we become individualist, and then we become very like collective. Then we become individualist and collective, and like on each time that we experienced each one, there's problems involved, and then we learn from those problems, and then it helps us become better individuals. And then when we become individuals, there's some other problems that happen, and then it helps us become more collective. But then when we become collective again, another issue happens that it just keeps evolving, and we're just keep getting better. Like I don't think that we ever like devolved or anything, because if that would happen, then we just have another great flood like we had, and you know that hasn't happened. That only happened once. And then what happened was, like, we had the great flood. That was like God's first idea for like how to punish humans and like take for like all the sins that we had, right? And like as I said, then as humans evolved, like God evolved the way that he treated us, and he evolved the way that he reacted to his disappointment in us and our missions that had to be carried out in his view. Here's the next kin. This is the energizing flow. This one was the first one was the beaming joy. This one's the energizing flow. I'll be honest, this one tastes like shit. It tastes like something it tastes like a fucking orange peel. You know how orange peels are like super bitter? Like that bitterness. Like that's all I'm getting, like a hint of orange and like a whole shitload of bitter. I'm still gonna drink it. I'm still gonna drink it. But yeah, it's like I don't know. Right now I'm living with this person where it's like they are super into like the politics. It's like, and it's making me realize the difference of like the Ascension timeline to the people stuck on the Armageddon timeline. Like this guy wakes up and like right in the morning he's drilling the fucking news. He's blasting the fucking news like right into his head. And like me, I'm someone who I haven't been watching TV, and like I gave all that shit up, and I'm the type of person that like I just wake up and I put my fucking like relaxing ocean on, and or I put like some sounds that are like healing on, or like nature or something. And it's like now I'm waking up in this dude's house at 7 in the morning, and I'm hearing these fucking Hegelian dialectic motherfuckers that, like, I don't know if you saw, like, look at my last video, the thumbnail that I have. It's a thing that all the people, I'm not saying every single Jewish person is bad, but there's a branch of it they don't have a good view on society, and they control most of the money. You could do your research. Watch the fucking Europa documentary. Watch the Europa documentary. Learn about the Hegelian dialectic. You can see that these people, they're all on the same team. They're all part of the same family. They're all part of the same religion. The Democrats, the Republicans, they're all the same. It's the left and the right side of Satan. And they're not trying to help anybody. And basically, this guy that I live with, he's really big into like Kamala Harris, and he hates Trump and all this. And it's like, dude, I don't fucking necessarily like any of these people, but I don't fucking hate them. I hope that whoever wins does good. And like I do Uber Eats delivery, so I'm like, I just want the gas price to go down. I hope they make the gas price go down. I'm a benevolent person at the end of the day. It's like, I'll watch all these documentaries about how fucked up the world is, but at the end of the day, I'm still like, you know what? He's a human just like me. And maybe some of these people aren't humans and they're fucking serpents and all this weird shit. Like, you see that one video of George Bush Sr. when he's talking and he looks like a fucking serpent reptile dude? And it's just like, alright, well, maybe some of these people are like reptilians, and maybe I'm little reptilian too. I don't know. Like, I haven't studied all this shit to the T where I fucking know, but at the end of the day, I know, yeah, like some people say like that, we're not actually, none of us are actually full human anymore. But I don't know a lot about that. I'm just saying things I heard about. But at the end of the day, as long as we have a little bit of human in us, it's like I'm hopeful that anybody could change. Even if somebody became president and they were in the secret group, they were in the Skull and Crossbones, which is the guy who Trump went to the military and then he got mentored by a guy who was a Freemason in the Skull and Crossbones. And he's like really into like the Black Lodge and all that shit. All of them have fucking pictures with each other and shit like that. Like, you could see Trump with fucking Bill Clinton and George Bush and all these fucking people playing golf and taking pictures with like women and shit. And it's like this other guy who was talking about how like Trump was part of a psyop for the new age people to get them all like falsely into them. And he was even talking about how he donated to Trump, but now he realizes he's a bad person. And it's like, I was honestly on that same vibe where it was like, I saw that he was fucking someone that came out of left field, or at least I thought he did, until I did more research about it and how he's actually cousins with Hillary Clinton. And like, I watched one of the latest videos by Billy Carson about how the Electoral College, how that is, and how voting is a scam and all that. And it's like, I kind of always knew that voting was a scam, but then it was like when there was people like Obama and Trump, when they first came out, it was like all, I really, like how I say I'm benevolent, it's like I really had hope for like things to change and stuff like that. But then it's like, after seeing those two people, and I voted, well, I wasn't old enough to vote for Obama, but I would have voted for Obama, and I did vote for Trump. And it's like, that's a weird combination. That shows you how, like, I basically try to vote for whoever seems like they're gonna fuck this system up the most. Like, if RFK would have stayed in, I would have voted for him because I align with his views on the child obesity and like the diabetes and autism and all that. Like, I want to make people healthy again. Like, I want to teach people about nutrition, and everything starts with that. But somehow he dropped out, and then he became a supporter of Trump, and I was like, that smells fishy. And then I did more research into it, and I found out, like, RFK's in the Skull and Crossbones as well. So it's like somehow all these people end up getting, overtaken into the shit and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, just how, like, Star Wars, and like, how there's that guy who's evil, and then he actually likes the girl who's like on the good team. And it's like, all we need is for that guy who's evil to finally have the courage to show his heart and be like, you know what, I love everybody. And it's like, that's what this is all about, is like people just coming to the conclusion that it's like, none of this shit makes sense. None of this shit makes sense anyway. We renounce this shit. We're just gonna be good from now on. It's simple. I wish I could make it more complicated, but it's simple. Yeah, this one actually made me feel shit more. made me feel shit more. But it tastes worse. This one tasted better, but it didn't make me feel anything. While this one tastes worse, but I feel shit. I feel some shit. Like I always talk about how it's like the internet is like such a like baby compared to what it can be like when it's a grown ass adult. Like the reason we have the internet is so we can all connect, because we're not supposed to be using money anymore. We could all connect now on the internet, and we could figure out ways to share everything with each other. That's the reason why it exists. It's the rails for the trains for us to send everything to everyone. We could start a barter system all over again, and a trade system. Even an information system where it's like, oh, and I talk about like healing, like you should only heal people that you're attracted to. And it's like when you're on the internet, like you could find someone that had a problem that you had, and it's like, oh, I know how to, heal that. Like I healed from it. And you could genuinely reach out to people that you feel attracted to heal or share with. And that's what I feel like the internet should be all about. Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good test drink. Now it's over. So 3 timelines, one of them we didn't do. Now we have the apocalypse and the ascension. We're basically stuck. Oh shit. We're in the Armageddon one right now. So basically it's like we need to stop being in fucking war. Stop being in Armageddon. Stop caring about money. You just gotta fucking be loving towards people and not be trying to act like you're owed something and be like charging shit. Everything we need grows from the earth. There's no reason for us to print money and be like trying to charge somebody else. Why? Because you put work into it, and now you don't want to share, and you feel like, oh, I put work into digging up this potato, like now I gotta charge you for it. Like, no, you dug up that potato for someone to eat, and if you don't want to eat it, then somebody else should eat it. And then when you give that person a potato, they're gonna be happy and they're gonna give you a tomato. And it's just gonna keep chain reacting, and everybody's gonna keep being nice to each other. Everybody wants to talk about like twin flame union and shit, and it's like, how do you think that shit starts? With stuff just like that. And then like the reactions just keep building up, and then boom, 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 boom.